Put my blind filter back in because I'm just going to show you something here about tuning the machine. Not something I'd say do out the box, but something I would advise you do once you become more competent with the machine, more used to how it's happening, the relationship between pressure and flow. One of the things that's very important is that you can shut the flow to the group off completely. If you can't, you'll find it much more difficult to control pressure, and with very fine grinds, perhaps impossible to drop below certain pressures. So first thing I've done, I've loaded in a blind filter. I started with the lever fully left. I lift the handle and I won't see a pressure rise because the group's effectively off. Well, I'm going to start allowing pressure to rise, and as soon as I see 2 or 3 bar in the group, you know, I'll there. Now I'm at 2 bar, I'll close it. Now I'm closed fully to the left, yeah? If I now open it a bit, the pressure, my pressure is gradually rising, but yours might not be, because I've tuned mine already, so fully to the left is fully closed. If you find that yours is open a bit and the pressure isn't rising, yeah, and you can open it until the pressure just starts to rise, then move it back just enough to stop the pressure rising. When you've done that, find yourself a small Allen key. I think it's 2 mil or something. I don't know exactly what the size is, but the little grub screw in there, you'll find it. It's my eyes can't read what's written on this. I think it's 2 mil or something like that. Anyway, find yourself a little Allen key, 2 mil, 3 mil, 2.5 mil, whatever it is. I think it's 2. Pop it in the back there, and you can unscrew a grub screw, and the lever is on a spline fitting. You can lift that paddle off and turn it so that the paddle, when you put it back, is just touching the back panel when it's definitely off. So what you've done, you've moved this until you start seeing it rise, then go back a little bit so it's definitely closed. Undo the grub screw, lift it off and turn it so that it's further towards the back panel, further to the left, and then replace it. Now what that means is your off position will now be further towards the back panel, in my case pretty much touching. And what that does, that gives you a bigger range on the valve of flow rate. You can imagine if your off position was here, you could only increase the flow a little. If your off position's here, you can increase it a bit more. If your off position is back here, you can get a much bigger variation in flow rate when you move the paddle, and that just gives you more flexibility during the shot. But as I say, they set it pretty well, but on mine the off position was set about there. Yeah? And by me saying, well, okay, if that's off, I undo the grub screw, lift it and turn it to here and put it back on and tighten the grub screw up, that gives me that much extra valve control and flow through the group. Okay, and that I found quite handy. So my off position, instead of being here now, is almost completely to the left. Okay, and we can show that again by raising the pressure. Remember, goes up, we stop it. There. So fully back, my pressure doesn't raise anymore. If I open it a bit, it doesn't raise because I've gone, you know, a few millimeters open, a few degrees, whatever. But if I open it that little bit further, she starts to squeeze out. And then I can just stop it again at any point. And you can hear it touching the case, but I don't have to quite touch the case. So that's a fine-tuning adjustment, I'd say, when you get more experience, it's worth considering.